You're listening to
Catholic Sprouts,
the daily podcast for Catholic kids that strives to plant seeds of faith.
Greetings, young Squire Sprouts. Today is the 16th day in the 4th month in the year of our Lord 2022. My name is Sir Roland Paterlot, and you're listening to Saturdays with Sir Roland on Catholic Sprouts, where every Saturday we discuss the art of dragon slaying. And this, young Squire Sprouts, is no ordinary Saturday. This is Holy Saturday, the day before Easter. And I know on the Sprouts podcast this week you've been talking about passion, the passion of the Christ. And when I think of the word passion, I think of fire. And you might ask, Sir Roland, is fire a good thing or fire a bad thing? Just like some of you have written to me, like Lady Ellie or Sir Paulo, and you've asked, are there good dragons as well as bad dragons? Well, the reality is, everything God created was good. God did not create evil or bring evil into the world, but God gave the angels and the human beings something that he didn't give the rest of creation. He gave us a free will, the ability to choose good or evil. And because we can choose evil, that opens the door for dragons to enter into the world. That's what dragons are, choosing evil. And you might say, well, why did God even give us the choice to do that? Well, because we're made in the image and likeness of God, to love as he loves. And love is a choice. You cannot force love. So God took a huge risk by giving us a free will so that we could love and be loved, knowing that we might use that free will to choose evil, like the dragons. And that's why I think free will is kind of like fire. Fire is a beautiful thing. When I was a kid, we had a wood-burning fireplace, and it was my favorite part of our home. One of my favorite sights is the sight of a fire. One of my favorite sounds is the crackle of a fire. One of my favorite smells is the wood burning on the fire. One of my favorite feelings is the warmth of a fire on the cold winter night. 4 out of my 5 senses, fire is one of my favorites. The only thing I never did was try to taste the fire because that seemed kind of dangerous. But my point is, fire is beautiful. It can warm your house. It can create romance. It can prepare food. It can light your home. It can do so many beautiful things. But you and I both know that fire is extremely dangerous. If not used properly, if not controlled, fire can destroy everything in its path. And that's kind of like the fire of a fire-breathing dragon. Dragons take something good and they use it for something bad. Fire that they use destroys everything in their path. And so I've thought about this a lot lately, like fire and how it can be good and how it can be bad, because our Lenten sacrifice in our home for the 2nd year in a row, the thing that we gave up as a family was electric lights. Yeah, we gave up all electric lights. All we had during Lent was 4 oil lamps and a bunch of candles to light our home. Fire was all that we had. So we relied on that little bit of fire. And it really helps us to understand the meaning of Easter and really the story of all of salvation, because every night the sun goes down and there's a mad rush in our house to get things done because we're losing the light. We're losing the light. And facing the darkness every night helps us realize how much we rely on the light of the sun. To the naked eye, it looks like every night over the western horizon, the sun sets and it ceases to exist. It's just gone. It looks like the light has gone out. It looks like the sun is dead. And that's really what Holy Saturday is. For the disciples, think about it. They followed Jesus for 3 years. They thought, he's the Messiah. He's the light of the world. And then all of a sudden, Jesus was crucified. And they laid him in a tomb. And on Holy Saturday, they were locked in a room and they were scared because the world seemed dark. Their light had gone out. Their hope had been destroyed. They couldn't think of how this story could possibly end well when their Messiah had been crucified. But you and I both know what happens the next day. And every morning when I get up during Lent and I'm trying to shave by the light of my oil lamp, or I'm trying to make my breakfast and it's frustrating, I can't wait for the sun to rise. And every morning, the sun rises over the eastern horizon like a king of glory, and it spreads its light over the horizon like a legion of 1,000 angels, which chases away the darkness, which flees like a coward from a fight that it can't possibly win. every morning that sun proclaims resurrection, resurrection. And that's what we celebrate this weekend, the rising of the Son of God, rising from the dead. And tonight, our family will go to an Easter vigil, which will start with a fire. And then they'll take that fire and they'll light the Christ candle, and they'll bring that Christ candle into the church, a dark church, and that candle will pierce the darkness. And then it will spread to person, every person holding a candle, and they'll light up the church. And then they'll sing the Exultant, which is my favorite song ever, proclaiming Christ our light is risen. And then they'll read the story of salvation history. And then they'll baptize and confirm new members into our church, which have received the light of Christ. And then they'll flip on the lights. They'll sing the A word, and they'll read the gospel proclaiming Jesus Christ has risen from the dead, the greatest story ever told. And so this week, young Squire Sprouts, my challenge for you is to get up early one day, preferably on a clear day, and watch the sun rise. And let that sunrise remind you that the Son of God has risen from the dead. He's pierced the darkness. He's destroyed all dragons, all sin, all death, and he's given you a gift that nobody can take away from you. That is the hope of heaven. So, young Squire Sprouts, from our family to yours, we wish you a very happy Easter. And until next week, I leave you under the protection of St. Michael the Great Archangel, St. Joseph the Terror of Dragons, and Mary, Queen of the Angels, Our Lady of Grace, and the woman whose seed crushed the head of the dragon.
That's it for Catholic Sprouts today. We'll be back tomorrow, but until then, continue to grow in your faith and truly sprout into the beautiful creation that God created you to be.
Hey, parents and kids, John here. Congratulations on making it through our Dragon Slayers 101 Lenten series. I think you guys are ready to do our Dragon Slayer Jeopardy game. It's a gift for you to celebrate Easter. Just check your Dragon Slayers Training Guild this week, and you will have a fun Jeopardy game that you can play together to test your Dragon Slayers knowledge. If you're not already a member of our training guild, please sign up today by going to our brand new website, extraordinarymission.com/Dragonslayers. And remember, listen to Catholic Sprouts every day, including Saturdays with Sir Roland.
This show is a production of the Spoke Street Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, visit spokestreet.com.